I'm Colin Mearns, a photographer with the Sunday Herald. I have spent the past week with Yankee Company, 4-5 Commando Royal Marines, who have been based at Forward Operating Base Inkerman in the Upper Sangin Valley in Helmand Province, Afghanistan. Last Wednesday, along with the Sunday Herald's foreign editor David Pratt, I joined the commandos in a patrol into what is known as the Green Zone to search for Taliban weapons and test a reaction after Operation Palang last week. The patrol was to last around 8 hours. We ended up staying up for 13 hours, during which I had what was easily the most terrifying experience of my life. I joined Company Tactical Command, who would be controlling the troops on the patrol, as well as the air, mortars and artillery, should we need them. We left the FOB shortly before 5 a.m. in utter pitch darkness. No moon tonight. Some of the troops had night vision. I didn't, and I wished I had, as after only 10 minutes of walking into the Green Zone, there is an area of muddy fields and ditches. I was soaked and covered in mud, slipping constantly and praying that my only working camera, that was wrapped in a plastic bag, would survive at least this part. Understandably, I wouldn't be taking photographs until dawn. You really didn't want a flash informing the Taliban of our progress into their territory. After about 2 hours of stumbling, and only after moving around 2 kilometres, we came near to our objective. By now, fortunately, as it was now 6:50 a.m, and it was just about enough light for a few photographs, and amazing quality of light it was too. I got chatting to Lance Bombardier Dean Clay, who pointed out his chuff chart, which is a series of dots on his knee pad that marked out his remaining days on tour. From this point, we moved into a compound occupied by Haji Mohammed and a family, and he had about 8 or 9 children running around. Some rummaging by commandos found nothing. Here we stayed for a time to provide protection to troops to the north of us before moving out, hopefully back to the FOB. This was dashed when word started coming through of finds of Taliban weapons, a pressure plate there, ID components over there, and a PKM machine gun and a B-10 recoilless rifle round. Moving to another secure compound, the officer commanding, Major Richard Parvin, set up a command post, and the full extent of the find started to become apparent. A cache of Taliban weapons were found by Marine Jake Alexander, and then Kez, a K9 commando, and were taken into building adjacent to the finds. And by 2 o'clock the room was practically filled with the stuff. Kez was having a field day with the stench of high explosive. A US IOD team arrived and straight away decided they would blow the whole place up. And all the time the Taliban were moving into position. While the IOD guys were setting up, the first shot started, coming from the east. The first time I have heard machine gun fire, and utterly terrifying it was. The Marines I was with were amazing. They were totally cool and utterly professional. All I could do was keep my head down at the back of the room, hoping the mud walls and my body armour would stop any bullets. The firefight stopped after about a minute and no one was hurt. It was time to move on. We all moved to some hard cover in a compound about 200 yards away to sit at the detonation of the Taliban weapons cache. Dog handler Craig Simpson found an umbrella, and in what was typical of the whole day, put it up, which got a lot of laughs. The sense of humour amongst the men was amazing. It made me feel a lot better. After all, there was no guarantee that the roof above us would stay intact from the force of the explosion. There was a countdown from 10, and then boom, everything moved sideways, lots of dust, and the US guys started hollering and yee-hawing and high fives all round, just like the movies, only a lot dustier and much, much noisier. Outside was a massive dust cloud. The tricky part was now beginning, as we heard that we would be most likely ambushed on the way back to the FOB. More wading through muddy ditches, only this time I could see what I was falling into. There was a long snake of us, heading towards open fields. As we moved along a path, the Taliban started firing. I jumped into the field, which didn't really offer much cover, and the commandos returned fire. I crawled onto my front to take some photographs of Lieutenant Tom Vincent firing his underslung grenade launcher. Then our artillery started landing on the Taliban firing points. It was time to move again, running desperate towards a big ditch and a small bridge. We were ordered to carry on towards open ground. I just followed everyone else, and the Taliban started firing again. This time there's very little cover, except for Axel, a big German Shepherd protection dog, who was panting and seemed to be enjoying himself, his tail wagging. More of our mortars and artillery landed on the compound from where the Taliban were firing, so it was time to move again. Still more gunfire, but everyone kept moving. I was very worried that my blue body armour and blue helmets would make me stand out as even more of a target. Ben the dog handler reassured me that the Taliban were rotting shots anyway. In the distance I caught a glimpse of David Pratt through the gate of the FOB. I was never so pleased to see a friendly face. I walked through the gate and I saw a sea of smiles all around. I was amongst the last in the FOB, and relief was immense. Everybody got back safely.